Want to take the guesswork out of making mouthwatering barbecue? Get ready to fire up flavor without the fuss with Andrew Buehler, founder of Urban Smokehouse. Happy New Year's Eve. My name is Brent Peterson, and I gave Veronica the day off. I'm thrilled to have Andrew Buehler share his story behind Urban Smokehouse's oven-ready barbecue shipped right to your door. With Andrew's passion for high-quality meats and strategic cooking methods, Urban Smokehouse delivers all the smoked flavor without the mess or hours waiting by a grill. You'll hear how Andrew built the business through crowdfunding and overcoming immense shipping challenges for perishable products. Whether you love hosting or just want to level up homemade dinners, Andrew is changing the barbecue game. Learn his tips for competing with larger brands through an obsession with quality and customer experience. This is an episode no barbecue lover or aspiring founder will want to miss with the mastermind himself, Andrew Buehler. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Are you lost in the content creation chaos, struggling under the burden of high costs and complications? Does the thought of regular content posting make you break out in hives? We feel your pain. But don't despair, your content hero has arrived. Introducing Content Basis, delivering unparalleled content creation and scheduling solutions crafted specifically for your audience and needs. Harnessing the power of AI, we efficiently deliver on-point content every time. Our US-based team meticulously reviews each piece, ensuring authenticity and precision. We value your unique voice and insights. You direct the final shape while we handle ideation to execution. With auto-scheduling, your content always finds its audience. And with bi-weekly check-ins, our strategies sync with your vision. At Content Basis, we're your dedicated ally in the content battlefield. From ideation to posting, we've got your content journey covered. Visit contentbasis.io and say goodbye to content chaos today. That's contentbasis.io.
You're listening to Talk Commerce. Subscribe and download at talk-commerce.com.
Welcome to this episode of Talk Commerce. Today I have Andrew Buehler. And of course, I'm not going to make any Buehler jokes. But Andrew, go ahead. Oh, Andrew's the CEO of Smokehouse. I'm sorry. Yeah, Andrew, go ahead and do an introduction. Do a much better one than I did. Tell us your day-to-day role and maybe one of your passions in life.
Yeah, happy to do so. And thanks for having me on as well. Again, my name's Andrew Buehler. I'm originally from the Chicagoland area, but I've been in New York City for about 10 years now. And last year I started a company called Urban Smokehouse. Urban Smokehouse's goal is to provide pre-cooked barbecue foods. We ship them vacuum sealed on dry ice to people nationwide here in the U.S. And really the pitch is ribs, brisket, things of that nature is often described as being prepared low and slow, which means over the course of multiple hours and often on a smoker. And I think most people in urban environments often don't have a backyard. Maybe they have a community grill or something in an apartment building or a condo, but definitely don't have a smoker and often don't have hours to make foods like these. So we cook barbecue foods the right way, vacuum seal them, and then ship them on dry ice so that you can reheat these products in a much more convenient time frame, 15 to 20 minutes, and enjoy low and slow barbecue kind of anywhere, as long as you have an oven, a grill, an air fryer, a microwave, really any device. And so that's kind of the simple pitch. But yeah, we've been doing it for about a year. Originally it was a Kickstarter project, which is a crowdfunding website. Did that last July 2022. Website and company kind of went live in September of 2022. Sold pork baby back ribs for a year, and actually just started selling briskets as well about a week and a half ago. So 2-product company now, 100% bootstrapped, and I've enjoyed the process, but I'll pause there and see where you want to take the conversation.
No, that's awesome. How about passions? Anything passionate outside of barbecue?
Yeah, I was a competitive swimmer my whole life, so I really like all water sports. Swam in college, but get me in a lake, get me in a pool, get me in an ocean, I'm pretty happy. And I'd argue that food is really the passion. I spent my first 10 years as a private equity investor here in New York, and a handful of other kind of financial services jobs, but kind of left Wall Street to chase the passion of barbecue. So as I say, I dropped the suit and picked up the apron. And I'm learning everything about e-commerce and digital marketing kind of along the way, but I've always been very passionate about food, whether it's cooking it or enjoying it. I enjoy food greatly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think we all do, or most of us do. I did my first, not my first, but I did an open water swim event across Lake Superior this summer.
Awesome. How long was the race?
It was 2.5 miles, so not super long, but it was, you have to worry about, is the water going to be 60 degrees or is it going to be 70? Lake Superior can be a funny place.
Yeah, is there a current? Are you swimming against it or with it? I mean, it's over an hour of straight swimming, so that's definitely a worthy feat.
Yeah. So very fun, and my daughter has me excited about doing more swim events, so who knows? I'm in Minnesota, so we don't do a lot of swim events in the wintertime, so...
Sounds like she's the swimmer and she's roping you into these things.
That's exactly what's happening.
Okay.
Andrew, before we get started on our content, I have a thing called the Free Joke Project. So all I'm going to do is tell you a joke. And I should have picked a barbecue joke, but I don't have one. But anyways, you'll just say, should this joke be free? Or do you think we could charge for it at some point? So here we go.
I look forward to it.
My wife says to her husband that moose are falling from the sky. The husband says, it's reindeer.
I think we could pay for this in the holiday season. This is a December joke. Might not catch the same audience in July, but this is a Christmas special.
I agree with you, and I kind of screwed up the delivery, so I apologize for that.
Don't worry about it. We'll retell it in the North Pole next time.
There you go. Good.
In the ever-evolving retail landscape, one platform is changing the game, ushering in a retail renaissance that puts relationships at the forefront. Welcome to Endear. Endear is a CRM built for omni-channel brands, empowering them with the consumer data to deliver a personalized, efficient customer experience that drives sales and retention. Imagine a tool that intuitively understands your customers' needs, giving your brand a remarkable edge. Don't believe us? Geronimo from Rebag says, I've used every CRM from Salesforce down, and Endear is the best one I've found for us. With Endear, your team isn't just selling products and crafting stories that resonate, nurturing connections that last. It's not just a CRM. It's a tool that empowers your sales associates to make personalized connections, bridging brands and customers like never before. Ready to redefine retail clienteling with a platform trusted by hundreds of omni-channel brands around the globe? Request your Endear demo today and enter a future of enriched connections and unparalleled customer loyalty.
So let's talk a little bit about your business and why you got into it. I'm part of the Entrepreneurs Organization here in Minnesota, so I'm really big into entrepreneurship and how these type of businesses grow. And tell us a little bit why you got interested in barbecue and in New York City.
Yeah, sure. I think there's a couple driving factors. One, I've always personally been interested in broadly cooking, but particularly barbecue. And I kind of joke the origin of the origin story here is in high school. I was the president of the grilling society. In college, I started a club where I ended up doing a pig roast for the school once a year. We traveled around. I went to school in Maine. We traveled around kind of the state doing different eating competitions and things of that nature. And New York's a really awesome place to explore global cuisine. There's great food from really around the world. You can have great Chinese food. You can have great Italian food. Great really everything. And so it's a great place to eat, but probably a less of a great place to conduct great barbecue. And so I definitely felt that a little bit of the struggle of, I no longer have a backyard or a patio or, a grill out there. And so I kind of felt that absence. And then I think COVID was really that natural self-reflection period for a lot of people. We all spent a lot of time home alone, thinking about maybe what we like to do. And for me, it was kind of that turning point where I said, hey, I've worked in financial services for, almost a decade now. Is this something I really love? Do I want to do this for, the next 20 or 30 years? Or is this, a time to pivot? And I kind of asked myself those broader philosophical questions of what I want out of life and what do I want to do every day. And I always had a little bit of the entrepreneurial itch, but always said, oh, I'll get another year of experience, or I'll save up a little bit more money and kind of de-risk this thing with experience and savings. And COVID, I said, hey, it's now or never. Let's start making a business plan. Let's do something that we really want to do coming out of this, and pursue a different path. And kind of combined with food and barbecue as a passion, I started crafting what ultimately became Urban Smokehouse. And two other trends I noticed, anyone would notice living in any city, is the amount of Amazon boxes piling up in the lobby of every single apartment building and condo. And you said, wow, this e-commerce thing really isn't going away. Everyone's buying more and more packages online. And COVID, you didn't want to go to the store in person, so everyone probably doubled or tripled the amount of packages they were purchasing. And then two, the big de-risking that I think occurred was, there probably was some hesitation for a lot of people with grocery stores and grocery shopping, and people wanting to choose their own produce or their own meat in person and kind of walk through those sections and handpick, this apple looks ripe, that one doesn't, or this steak looks better than the other, etc. And there was a period where people kind of said, too bad, either you're getting groceries delivered or you're eating predominantly boxed goods. And so I think a level of comfortability was also reestablished with buying some of these products that probably people were less inclined to buy online during COVID. And so building a food e-commerce brand that's somewhat meat centric, I kind of saw the tailwinds there, and my passions kind of intersecting them, and that's really where the thesis was developed, and kind of the nudge off the cliff was created as well.
Yeah, and you took quite a big leap from going from an investment banking or from the finance field to food. What did you have that kind of made you do that and take that risk and leap?
Yeah, so I think if you come from an investing background, you broadly gain a skill set or a lens for what makes a business attractive and what makes a business kind of work. The businesses that only last a year or two tend not to be the ones that receive ongoing investment versus a business that can stand the test of time. And so, I, from a private equity investment kind of role, had the opportunity to review basically thousands of businesses every single year, and ultimately only invest in 2 or 3 of those and kind of roll up our sleeves and try to improve those businesses. And so quickly you kind of gain an appreciation for businesses that, have visibility into repeat business, what businesses are high margin, what businesses work both in tough times and in good times. And so that gave me a broader framework for kind of some of the attributes I wanted to have present in my business. But ultimately, the industry was more one of passion, and the experience from investment banking and private equity came from, hey, what is going to make this business survive and grow relative to its competitors, and also be one that is a relatively light lift to kind of get started. And what I mean by that is, I was very particular when I started this business about not over-investing in a bunch of, expensive equipment or, a ton of people or, real estate or even inventory. That was one of the reasons I really went the crowdfunding route in the beginning, because it allows you to de-risk the thesis in a sense where you get a couple hundred people or a couple thousand people that are already interested in the product. You give them to get you money. You get them to give you money in advance, and then with that capital, you can then make the product and ultimately fulfill it to them. And so it was a great de-risking moment for the business, because it's build hype, have people already interested in the product, not not spend a whole lot of money in advance other than really creating a logo and, a 2-minute video explaining the purpose of the product to your customers, and then going out and doing that. And to the extent that it wasn't a success and nobody said they were interested, or you didn't hit your goals, you kind of say, oh, well, we're out of pocket $1,000. Let's not pursue this venture. But to the extent that you get, a couple hundred people or a couple thousand people saying, I'm interested in this product, I'm willing to give you $100 or $200, go make the product, you end up with, $25,000-$30,000, and you say, hey, maybe we should pursue this, or, we have an obligation to do so now, and we haven't already spent a bunch of money on things without knowing that there's demand for the product. I know I took that down a different angle towards the end there, but I thought it was interesting, and it definitely is an interesting approach for someone that's considering entrepreneurship, but is worried about market fit or spending a bunch of money and then ending up with nothing. That's how I viewed kind of de-risking it in the beginning.
Did you find as you went through that in the Kickstarter, did you have to kind of sell yourself as well as the product? Because people have to really buy into the idea, right? To invest in the small myths. And how did you see that, and what kind of story did you tell by doing that?
I think it cuts twofold. So I think if you're raising like institutional money or meeting, angel investors, venture capital firms, private equity investors, things of that nature, there's definitely a much bigger pitch on yourself and like proving that like you are the person that can carry this across the finish line. And people in those instances are writing much larger checks. I think kind of the beauty of crowdfunding is you're dealing with arguably, regular people that are just really interested in ultimately purchasing your product and spending, $50, $100, maybe $200 with you. And so there's a little bit less of the sell on like the execution, and I think a lot more sell on, is this product awesome? Is this a product I want to consume? Which ultimately I think is a pitch that matters much more, because at the end of the day, the product needs to have market fit, and there needs to be people that will ultimately want to buy the product. The more Wall Street looking investor is much more interested in right away, like what's the margin profile of this business and what's the total addressable market and, the opportunity to have economic success. Whereas the customer is really solely focused on, is this going to be an enjoyable experience for me? Or is this going to be a satisfying product or service for me? And so the pitch is really overweight the product rather than yourself. So there was a little bit of selling myself, but I think it was really more all on the, you love ribs, you love brisket, you don't want to wake up on Saturday and start cooking 8 hours before you consume the product. Let me do that, and you can have more of a ready-made product that's going to take 15 or 20 minutes. And we found some people that resonated with, and it worked. And kind of, month over month, you get more 5-star reviews, and you get more people talking about it on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and it has a slow but surely snowball effect. And we've been fortunate enough to experience that.
That's awesome. I had a little bit of experience in the agency space on building websites for this type of business. And with the dry ice and shipping to, say, Hawaii or Alaska, and having the different, when can you ship, Tuesday versus Friday, have you been able to easily get over those hurdles, or have you had to significantly invest in some technology to make sure that you have the right packaging?
So another one of my core theses is, especially on building a business, take the sniper rifle approach versus the shotgun. And by that I mean learn how to do one thing really, 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 really well, and everything else you should trust someone that's an expert in that field, and outsource those things. Especially as a small business where you're a one-man band in the beginning, it's hard to do everything really well. It's hard to be the accountant, the lawyer, the sales team, the marketing team, the strategist, the product design. There's so many roles to fill. And so I really wanted to focus on like product and strategy, and I really looked to finding best-in-class partners to help me scale in some of these things. And so I partnered with a distribution center in Wisconsin, or a fulfillment center in Wisconsin, that ultimately does the pick and pack. And when I met them, some of the things you raised were actually some of the things they pushed as like a value add. They said, hey, we've been doing this for 30 years for, thousands of people. And you probably didn't think about this, but the amount of ice that goes in a package to Florida in July is very different than the amount of ice that goes to a package in Minnesota in January. And you have to pack enough so that someone might not be there ready to get the package the second it's delivered. It might sit 8 hours on the front doorstep in the 100-degree heat in Florida or Arizona. Are you thinking about that in terms of the amount of ice you pack in these things? And so we really leveraged our partner in that to kind of add some of that knowledge and know-how from doing this for decades and working with thousands of customers. And the same thing you mentioned about when you ship. So we typically only ship product Monday through Thursday, and it's based on ultimately the end destination. So we ship everything just ground shipping, and based on the estimated arrival date, if it's more than 2 days, you're automatically upgraded to 2-day air. And so everything's supposed to kind of get to you in 2 days or less. So if you live very close to the distribution center, it might be only 1 day. If you live in Illinois or Michigan or Minnesota, so we might be able to get a package out. We might still ship to you on Thursday or Friday. If you live in Florida or California or something, we're likely only going to send it out to you on Monday through Wednesday, because we want to make sure that the package doesn't get trapped in a FedEx distribution center over the weekend and have extra days kind of waiting on it. And so that does impact ultimately when we ship. And so yeah, product never goes out over the weekend. We encourage people to order, call it Monday through Thursday. They have an understanding. It says on our website very clearly, if you order over the weekend, this product isn't going out until Monday.
That's awesome. I got a challenge question. Do you have any customers in Austin, Texas?
Great question. Austin, Texas, I'm not sure, but I mean, we've had customers in all 50 states already. And we have had customers in Texas, but I'd have to double check the zip codes and the ultimate end locations within Texas.
Yeah, I only say that because I travel there a lot, and it's like so much barbecue that happens here, and like it's every corner is a barbecue place. So
totally.
So what's your vision? Like, how do you see this growing, and what is your vision for the business of going forward?
Yeah, so I think we actually have a pretty big vision. So the goal right now is building a brand, and building a brand directly with the end customer. And so how we do that is we're going to continue to launch other products in the vertical. As I mentioned, right now we're selling pork baby back ribs and brisket. Ultimately, we want to call it at least one thing in every protein SKU. So the next product for us will be chicken, likely pulled chicken. Ultimately, we want to add accompanying sides, whether that be cornbread or vegetables, things of that nature. We ultimately want to sell our barbecue sauces that a lot of these proteins are coming pre-coated in. And then once we've hit what I'll call critical mass, and maybe we'll define that as somewhere between 5 and 10 million of annual revenue and direct to consumer online sales, we'll likely start pursuing retail as well. So ultimately trying to get the products in grocery. And then the last sleeve of the business, I think, is corporate gifting. So, a great ancillary that a great competitor that I draw to is like Omaha Steaks. A large portion of their business is getting people in professional services, accountants, lawyers, consultants, things of that nature, to gift steaks to, their top 50 or top 100 clients every year, or people that are celebrating a milestone in their business. I think there's a great pitch to do something similar here with barbecue. And so that's kind of the vision and kind of the three stools of the business. Right now we're still in that brand building, D2C phase. And I think as you continue to grow the business in a D2C manner, there's a really compelling story for those other two legs of the business. Because ultimately, hopefully in a year or two, I can go to these other channels and say, hey, we have 200,000 followers on social media, and we have 50,000 customers, and our average review is 4.8 out of 5 stars, and all these compelling statistics to say, hey, if you give this product a chance, it's going to work, rather than approaching them initially and really having to kind of sell the product. Approaching those channels with an already existing brand will move heaven and earth for us. So that's kind of our strategy, and the reason we're doing D2C first and those other channels second.
That's awesome. Then, so you are in a sort of competitive space. How do you compete against some of the bigger names that you'd find in, your grocery store, or Costco, or something like that?
Yeah, so I think we think of competition a couple different ways. So one is, how do we compete with the other like D2C players? And I think the other are the other people selling online. And I think the other people selling online really are focused on different proteins and different products. There are other people that sell barbecue, but there isn't anyone that's, the Omaha Steaks or the Honey Baked Ham or the Gold Bellies of the world kind of scale yet. And so we do view it as a little bit of virgin territory and just being better at marketing, better at, customer acquisition online is really what's going to differentiate us there. Versus the existing products in grocery, we're really trying to win on quality and we're really trying to sell a premium product. So if you compare at least like our ribs to other ribs on the market, we tend to offer more protein. So like a lot of people, their half slab is like 14 ounces. Ours is 16 ounces. We do lean into a little bit of like some of the health accolades. So we are, non-GMO. All of our products are allergen free. So we're trying to, be friendly to people that might have some dietary restrictions or constraints when consuming our product. And then ultimately when it comes to food, I think it's, as I tell everyone, you got to feed the people. So we do a lot of pop-ups and like we give away a lot of product. We do a lot of free samples because ultimately you need to get people to try the product. And if they taste the product and they enjoy it, then they'll buy it. And that's why if you go to grocery stores or like especially Costco, there's always brands that are doing free samples inside those stores. And that's what you need to do as a new brand. You need to get people to try the product. And if they enjoy it and you're confident in the product, they'll ultimately buy it. And so, we've been pleasantly surprised with the number of like 5-star reviews we've gotten online. And we really try to get our customers to become advocates of the product and post about it on social media, and we reward them if they do that with like a rewards program that we have that ultimately can earn free product or discounts and things like that. But the hardest sale is the first sale, and after that the goal is to get the customers to become advocates for the product. And so incentivizing the customers to be advocates for the product with referral programs and rewards programs is important. And giving away a lot of free samples in person is important because we're confident it tastes good. We just got to get you to try it. And those are the different ways that we kind of like tackle getting additional people to try it.
Yeah, and I did look through the website. That your imagery is fantastic. You have some great pictures and it is very enticing to even buy. I'm a big barbecue fan, so I think the website looks fantastic. So you're looking at moving into all these different directions. What is your time frame? What do you expect for growth, and what do you like to see in the future for that?
Yeah, so our goal really is just as long as we're growing month over month, we're happy. Like we really, because we're such a small business. Like there's no, I don't like accept like the seasonality excuse or the this or that excuse yet, because we're still a small blip on the map where you should be able to find people that want to eat this year round, every week, whatever it is. And so we're really happy with kind of how growth has happened so far. We've just passed year one. With the business kind of went live, call it September 15th of 2022, but we've appropriately doubled the business, call it every few months. And so we've launched that second product, and the next milestone we're really looking for is hitting that kind of $5 to $10 million in annual revenue, and I'm hoping we can do that in the next 12 to 18 months. And once we do that, then we'll pursue retail. Then we'll pursue grocery. I'm not sure how many products that will be. We're already working on the pulled chicken product I mentioned. So product number 3 is called In the Pipeline. I think we're going to launch it as not a standalone product, but part of our holiday packages and gift sets. So it's going to be something that we talk about around Black Friday and the holiday season, and we're going to have some gift packages or gift sets that include an assortment of all 3 of our products, and then it'll launch as a standalone product likely in January or sometime after the holiday season. I think that I kind of view each product as hitting it. The other factor here too is when you're selling a product that's perishable, you don't want to have 1,000 SKUs right away or 100 SKUs right away, because you want to be confident that you can move a certain amount of each product before you get into another product, because ultimately the product's going to expire. Ultimately the product's going to go bad. And so with ribs, we were very, very cautious of selling a lot of ribs each month before we kind of added a second product. And how I think of volume is in terms of pallets. So, how many pallets are we selling each month, and what's the turnover of each pallet? And so we waited until we started selling at least 4 pallets a month consistently for multiple months before we added a second product. And so we launched brisket, a week and a half ago, and we did our first run with a pallet and a half, and we'll see how quickly we get through that. And then we want to get the economies of scale to, multiple pallets, likely 4 pallets again, like we did ribs, before we ultimately launch that chicken. And then we'll kind of view that as the threshold and the milestone for each product. And once we're moving at least 4 pallets of each product, we can add another product. And if it doesn't sell well, maybe we shouldn't continue to sell that product. We want to do low volume, relatively lower volume runs, see how the customers like it, see what the feedback is. Does it taste good? Is the preparation easy? Does the price resonate with people? And if we can't make it work, we'll kill it right away. So that's kind of how I view it. And I'll pause there and see if I answered your question to the full extent, but I think I hit on a couple points there.
Yeah, no, you got it right on. That's great. I think that it's an exciting space that you're in, and I look forward to seeing it grow. Andrew, as I close out the podcast, I give everybody a chance to do a shameless plug. What would you like to plug today?
Thank you, I appreciate that. We want to plug our products. We want to plug Urban Smokehouse. We're a small growing company, but if you enjoy barbecue, and you, like many people, maybe don't have the time or equipment to make it yourself every week or every month, or view it as a special occasion for when you're traveling on a trip to Texas or the Carolinas, consider Urban Smokehouse. We can bring it to your home and any of those other states, and we can make a product that's much more convenient from both an equipment and time time needed to prepare standpoint. So visit urbansmokehouse.co, not .com, .co, to check out some of our products, and would also appreciate a follow on any of our social medias. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, you name it. And our handle on every platform is at urbansmokehouse.co as well. So would appreciate you trying our products or giving us a follow on social media, and appreciate you, Brent, allowing me to do the plug.
Absolutely, and I'll get those links in the show notes. Andrew, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, and pleasure meeting you as well, Brent.
Talk Commerce is a production of Content Basis, LLC. For more creative content, go to contentbasis.io.